What's up, guys, and welcome back to Beyond the Void Horror Podcast. My name is Alex, and today we're going to be doing a spoiler-free review and Blu-ray unboxing sort of review of a shot-on-video film from Visual Vengeance called Moonchild. It's a Todd Sheets movie. Let's check it out. So I have to admit, I have not seen a lot of Todd Sheets movies, and I don't know how this happened. I think it was during a time where I was trying to do the band thing. I was doing a hardcore band back in the day that did screaming and also rap rock. You can laugh all you want. I don't give a fuck. It changed later on, just so you know, but I missed a lot of his movies and I really need to catch up on them. If you're not familiar, Todd Sheets has a distinct style that is shot on video. Do it because you love it, not because you're trying to make it, just because you want to make fucking movies. And Todd Sheets amassed a large following of friends and family that basically would help put these movies together since the 80s. And, you know, ever since the video camera came out, he was shooting films. So this is one of them. Visual Vengeance has put it out. I'm going to go over all of the extra features and everything at the end of this video, but I'm going to give you my initial thoughts of this movie first so that you can kind of get an understanding of what I thought of the movie, and then I'll tell you about all the special features. So if you want to skip to the end to see those, you can, or just stick around and I'll tell you all about what I think about it anyway. So Moonchild is a movie that is set in the dystopian future of a post-apocalyptic sort of time where there are different factions of people that are surviving off the land. It's an action fantasy horror kind of film that's made on zero budget, basically. I mean, yeah, obviously they had a lot of people do favors and they had what they had laying around, but yeah, this movie was not made with millions of dollars like a lot of your other films. As you know, shot on video, SOV, is a get out there and make a movie kind of style. And some people really didn't get to grow up with all of these. Some people are just now hearing about these now, and Visual Vengeance is one of those people that are reigniting some of the passion and love. But Moonchild is not going to be one of those movies that is going to have the best acting, the best action, the best art direction or writing. It's just a movie that they wanted to make a fantasy style action film like Mad Max meets a bunch of other stuff, really, but it made me laugh quite a few times. I think it does kind of have its self-awareness in here, and yeah, maybe it is kind of sort of along the lines of that S-Big category, a so bad it's good kind of category, but it's also just kind of good, you know? There is obviously some flaws in this, but it's not about doing it perfectly. It's about making a movie with the best that you can, with the items that you have around you, and just doing it for the pure fun and love and passion of filmmaking. Terminated. Essentially, it's about this guy who is escaping these really bad guys that are wearing samurai sort of outfits that are part cyborg. They're cyborgian, as they say in this movie. And they're working on experiments on human beings to kind of make the ultimate warriors. And one of the guys that they're doing these experiments on is a hybrid of wolf and human, being sort of a werewolf, but not a real werewolf. But he has the ability to transform into a wolf man. So you've got cyborgs versus werewolves versus a sort of Mad Maxian group that is led by all women, so very forward thinking for 1994, by the way. There's other factions that are kind of like somewhere in between and are also fighting against this big bad boss character that is delving into some sort of demonic stuff somehow that you'll figure out by the end. But yeah, there is a lot of wonderful action scenes that even Todd Sheets himself said that they didn't really even think about it when they were coming up with this idea. They were like, yeah, we'll have this really big blowout fucking fight scene. And they're like, shit, how do we do it? And so they really just kind of end up just like hugging each other a lot and, you know, pretend kicking. And I mean, it's a little apparent, you know, that They're not really contact hits or anything like that. They just add the sound effects and make it seem tougher than it is. Whatever. That's not the point of the movie. It's really just to kind of say, hey, they had a fight, and this is that guy. It's part of the story, you know. Quite a few laughs in this one. There are a lot of different angles and things that are shot with this. This isn't a static camera just sitting in the corner of a room while some kids do a play. Todd puts some actual thought into the shots that he does. And, you know, there are a lot of scenes with a lot of moving cameras, and there's some that are just he's kind of moving around with the camera, some that are strapped to the side of a vehicle when they do car chases and fights. They have a scene that is done in a back of a bed of a truck that they were driving kind of slow, it seems. A lot of people make fun of the movie for supposedly being slow, but honestly, there were some scenes that we just didn't realize they were actually going 40 miles an hour. Not all scenes, obviously, for safety reasons, because these are not stunt people, you know, they don't have stuntmen on set. They did these all by themselves. The lead, who plays the lead role, who is the sort of Moonchild, so to speak, or the Moonchild project, he did his own stunts, and that's what you kind of have to do when you make these kind of movies. So if you're into that sort of futuristic, post-apocalyptic fantasy, werewolves and cyborgians sort of thing with a group of women who are leading the apocalypse, this might be the perfect movie for you. It does have a few transformations in it. I won't say that they're the top notch. Todd Sheets is actually known for a lot of like really gory films and stuff like that. This is on the lower end of that. This is more of a story driven sort of thing that he wanted to kind of work with and try to get away from some of the extreme gore, but there is some gore, some, you know, violence and death and shit in here. The Shogun sort of samurai gear that the bad guys, the cyborgians, are wearing kind of reminded me of the band Clutch. He's like, oh, by the way, and my name's Marcus, and if you'd like, you can call me Sensei. I don't know. That's just one of the songs. It's called Shogun Named Marcus from one of the first Clutch albums. Just reminded me of that. And actually, that came out in 93, that album. So I wonder if there's some influence. Probably not. But yeah, it just reminded me of that. It's not hard to follow along. I've seen some films that are competently shot SOV style with all these different camera angles that are extremely boring. This isn't one of them. I would probably give this like a 6 out of 10 on the SOV scale, maybe a 6.5. I did enjoy it. I'm kind of curious to check out other ones. I've got another one coming up that we'll talk about, but what I'm going to do now is get into the extras of what's on this disc. So you obviously get the new cover, which Visual Vengeance does, and you get, you know, the new cover. This is another new cover, so they probably had 2 runs of that just for the cardboard cover sort of thing. I left the plastic on. I've been doing that lately. Reminds me of the old VHS days where you left the plastic on. But anyway, this is some of the new artwork here. It does have the original artwork from the original poster that they did. You can kind of flip that over. There is the Blu-ray here, so you get the Blu-ray, and on this side, under all these contents here, you get not only the Blu-ray with the movie, but you get the audio disc of the music that they created for this movie. Yes, they created music from scratch. Todd Sheets himself was actually on the guitars, and most of the music that they created was some other person. But yeah, you get the audio disc with that. There's also a little booklet in here by Matt Desiderio, who does like a kind of a telling of the Kansas City Creep, which is Todd Sheets and kind of how his movies have affected them and what to expect from them. So you might want to read this if you're going into the film blind. It's actually a really good read. We also get our traditional stickers to kind of bring back the old days, which we saw on the shelves. That Visual Vengeance always does. They also give you a poster from the new artwork. You can hang it up. It's a little mini poster, but I kind of love these. I kind of want to do like a whole wall of Visual Vengeance ones now that I have all these little mini posters. They do have some special features that are on here that I'll read for you. You get it's a new director supervised SD master. So this is not in Blu-ray, not 1080p. You know, you can't really just make films look like magic. I mean, I guess you could use like AI to try to make it look better, but it's going to look like shit when you do that. Just let it be what it is. So the thing about these Blu-rays is all the extras you get on it. It just lets you pack them full of extras. Now this is a newly supervised SD master from the original tapes. You get new audio commentary with Todd Sheets and Augie Alvarez, who is the star of the movie. You also get commentary with director Todd Sheets and Visual Vengeance as another audio that you can listen to. There is an alternative original cut of Moonchild that you can watch. Wolf Moon Rising, the making of the Moonchild documentary, which is the original documentary that they made for it. There's archival behind the scenes cast interviews that they did, the original VHS trailer, deleted ending, the music video called Burn the Church by Dissension. They got a short film called Sanguinary Desires, Todd Sheets' Bone Hill Road trailer, which is a newer movie that he did. He also has some more Visual Vengeance trailers and yeah, everything else that I mentioned. So there is subtitles with this, so if you need that, you can, or someone you know needs it, it is in here. That's pretty much everything you get with this. I think it's a pretty decent release. You can pick one of these up right now. Thank you very much, Visual Vengeance, for sending these out to me. I got another movie called The Heartland of Darkness that we're going to be doing next. I'll put a link down below for this one if you want to pick up a copy for yourself, if you are an SOV fan or just kind of curious about the genre and just love the heart behind SOV. I highly recommend start dipping into the SOV because there's just a ton of stuff that has a lot of promising ideas that they just didn't have the budget to do. So, but other than that, thank you guys so much for stopping by. I really appreciate you guys' support this year. Hope you had a great holiday. We're going to be doing a lot more of this next year. If you got some ideas or anything that you want me to review, if you want to donate any movies and we don't have it on our Amazon wish list, let me know. I'll put it on there. We've had a couple people contact us about that. So it's all the links are down below. So if you want to contact me, you're more than welcome to. But thank you so much. As always, long live the movie. Join us.